Guys been wanting me to change the theme song sound quality, but I'm gonna keep the same song, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. The time she plays them, and she does that. She does it with the cat. Does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. Hopefully that fixed the audio. Crazy Cat does not own any of these pictures or books or pictures. I use them under fair use for educational purposes, so the people who watch them learn a little bit something when they do it. Hopefully that fixes the audio. I only did all those years ago. No, I don't want to do this. I'm scared of this thing. Please move it. Hi everyone, Martha here. So I'm not finished, but I finished the main story of this game, Donkey Kong Bananza. Sorry I didn't do a walkthrough of it, because I got it so late. Because it took me so long to get a Switch 2, because finding one is hard. We don't live near a GameStop anymore. And I got the PlayStation 5 so quickly because I live right next, live down the street from one, and now that one closed down, which sucks. But because everything has to be bought online, when you try to find things online, it's a killer still. Because I'm old-fashioned. I'd rather buy things in the store than online, because you don't have to worry about getting lost in the mail or it taking forever. But neither here or there. So I haven't really played a Donkey Kong game since the third country game, because that's when I had a Super Nintendo. We really didn't have a 64. We were a PlayStation family after that for a while, so I really didn't play any Nintendo games up until the Wii, and I played Mario games mostly on that. I knew there was Donkey Kong games. They were just not. I got into the 3D ones a lot more than, and this was I do like the 2D ones because that's the ones I know, but every time I heard about Donkey Kong Country or the other one, I heard that those two were really hard and I was afraid to try them. So this one, since this is technically the first game on the Switch 2, not counting a kart game, where it's the actual real game where you just not just sitting there racing, where it has an actual story. Yeah, so that's why I got it. Now, I understand why some people would have been when Vanilla They showed up asking, why is she 13? Doesn't make any sense. Why is Donkey Kong and her being friends? Why are they helping each other out? Because last time we see, other times we see each other, she's getting kidnapped. Look, I totally get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this relationship between these two good. Not too much compared to, because Donkey Kong already gets compared to King Kong as it is, and having him kidnap a woman is definitely just digging more nail into the coffin. That the fact that this is a ripoff of King Kong. He was already sued when he was first created by the people who made King Kong, and they don't want him to look like the bad guy. So they're trying to change. And when has ever Nintendo been staying on the timeline, right? You can't look at Legend of Zelda. That timeline is so crooked, it doesn't make any sense. There's at least now about four different timelines, if not more. So yeah, and making where Mario's slash Donkey Kong's doesn't make any sense either. Since these two actually hang out with each other. I mean, I don't know, is their relationship as bad as his and Bowser's, but because there's sometimes where Donkey Kong's the bad guy. Sometimes there's a time where sadly Mario is the bad guy. But yeah, can never get here or there with these guys. I think that they're really trying to do a Donkey Kong game with Vanellope, where both of them are on the spotlight, without neither one of them looking terrible while they're doing it. So what's the story in this game now that that's out of the way? The story is, in this game, is that Donkey Kong is looking for bananas as usual. And all of a sudden a mean monkey and another two gorillas make it where everybody goes down below because they're trying to get to the planet core. Or this versions of Donkey Kong's version of Center of the Earth. And how weird it is that the center of the Earth has a friggin' beach at the end and between it, or a foresty area, ice. Now the only one I think makes sense is the lava area, but they gotta have Donkey Kong goes to do his version of what Mario got to do, and that's Odyssey, where he has endless bananas, like Mario had endless moons in it to get people. Again, it will take them further to beat, so they don't have to ask for a game anytime soon. But no, those people out 30 who have beaten already, because the ending was out there in 4 days. Now, back in my day, it took people a long time to beat games, and they kept the spoilers off there pretty fast. But now, since internet came around, you can have spoilers out the next day. You're not crazy, you're not careful. Because how fast did I learn that King K. Rool was the real bad guy in this? But the weird thing is, with King K. Rool, he was always a surprise in these games. Even when he first showed up, you didn't even know what he looked like in the manual, back when we had manuals. Because now, when you open the game, there's those clip things are not really used for anything up there. You're lucky if they're there or not. You're lucky if you still do buy physical games, because everyone wants you to go digital. Mostly, the reason I would go digital because it's easier without having to worry about where do I put this game when you're done with it. Because you run out of room. That's the only thing I would say. But it's a lot more harder to get games deleted and never go back to it if you don't have a physical copy to it. And so, when Donkey Kong gets sucked down to the bottom, he finds a little rock that's a second, that can be your second player, or when you're playing alone, you just use it to sing, and it gets. And when you get down to the second world, after you get out of the mining place, because they made Donkey Kong a miner in this game. At least he's finally got a job. And when you get down to the water area, I don't know what you call that. And you get to do the elders, who are the ones who gives you each version of characters, which usually are ones that Donkey Kong had rode on in the past. Only one I could think of he's never rode on or did not help him was like the zebra, but because he's ridden on. He's a Donkey Kong. He's a gorilla, but it's just the first form is just a bigger gorilla. The second one, it depends on which the one you go to, because there is the divide, and there's also you get to choose between the ostrich and the zebra. So either one of them could be your second. And then there's the snake. And there's the elephant. So, yep. He's ridden on top of Old and Separate the zebra. And when he gets to that end of that of the first level, is when we get Penelope back to somewhat normal. More, she's a human at least. She's not an adult, but she's at least a human. And they try to give her somewhat a personality. Shy and timid. And she kind of does a character arc during this game. She gets more confident every time she sings. Because at first she is so scared and so shy. She has the stage fright. But it seems like her dancing time is at first also her being timid. But like I said, throughout the game, she does end up growing through the game and having more confidence, because it's about her standing up to Void, the monkey that turned her into a rock, and does kidnap her again later on and turns her back into a rock. Because there's a point in the game when you're separated from her. Not for very long after you get the one that looks like Cindy. And according to my fiance, he looks like a poodle. So yeah, because of her tail. But nope, that's a monkey. They don't have dogs in these games. And do I like both Grumpy and Pluty? I think her name is a lot better than those stupid rabbits. Well, when the Donkey Kong games, the minor bosses were mostly just bigger versions of the villains, really. They're a giant vulture, a giant wasp, blast bee, and then usually a different color. So they weren't really that big version. But I'm just happy that they look different. They're just not a slightly different color. But now there's other bosses besides these two. It's just usually these guys show like a little void mask, whatever that thing is, and make it be attached to something, and then it like ends up into being it either with Donkey Kong punching it or turning it into one of its different forms. So yeah. And I do like how there's like mini levels to get Bananzas, like usually two different kinds, where we have the ones that have one banana ready to beat as many bosses in the timeline, and then there's ones that have 3 bananas, or there's a set course and one that's hard to find. Now, ones I would say out of those was probably my favorite is when they do references to the Donkey Kong Country. There's like at least technically twice they reference in those Donkey Kong. They reference Donkey Kong Country, and once where they reference the old arcade. I would say those 3 are my favorite, since they're the ones that gave me the most nostalgia. And while you're going through the game, you find Cranky and Rampy digging through the hole, like trying to get to the planet core, but he alludes to what's really going on here. Like he's talking about, I don't think Void is the bad guy here, and he's also referencing Mario every now and then, saying, "I battled a guy in overalls," and you can find him pretty much every single layer, every single world, basically hiding somewhere. He's basically like Toad in Odyssey, because I think Toad was in every single world and he gave you a moon. Now, I can totally understand why they went with Penelope instead of Diddy, because of what happened to his name. It's like, nothing wrong. Like, it's not his fault. He decided to share a name with a very bad person. So I understand why they didn't go with him this time around. And they did not change his name. I don't get why. Somebody told me that his name was changed. Like, no, in this game his still name is Diddy. So yeah. I mean, I get why they move. He's only in like one area, and so is Disky, and that is where you race on top of ramping. You don't even have to even do it. It's not like, you know what happened to me when I was in that lair. So happy to see these two, because they're from one of the best games from in these games. Donkey Kong, that is where Donkey Kong is being captured. You don't even get to play as him, and it's totally something you don't have to do. You don't have to beat them. You don't get bananas from them. You get just coins. You think you would get banana at least, or bunch, but I was just exploring this area. I can't show you like the gameplay of it, but I totally just skipped it. Like, I wanted to just explore a little bit before I talked to them, and all of a sudden, next thing I knew, it was telling me to leave the level, because I went up to where the trophy was of coins, of gold, and I activated the thing, and then it'll suddenly just telling me to leave. Like, I didn't even get to talk to them. And when I went back to talk to them before I left, I couldn't even start the race. Like, what the heck? I couldn't even talk to Diddy, because there's supposed to be a line where Diddy and Disky talk about Donkey Kong 2, where we were kidnapped, and Penelope acts like, you know, these guys, like, would make sense why she would not know, because even when she's an adult, she's never talked to these guys. So yeah. And yeah, there's been a whole entire thing where they've been saying that this is not even the same Penelope from the times that she was kidnapped by Donkey Kong. This is supposed to be the granddaughter of that one, because it would not be kind of weird if Cranky is supposed to be the grandpa of Donkey Kong, and yet this is supposed to be the same exact girl that's been kidnapped by him. And the fact that she's a brunette and does not have blonde hair. So yeah. Because there is a costume I haven't gone to yet, because I just finished beating the game, and so I haven't gone to the post area where you can find her lady costume. And you also collect fossils, which is how you get clothes in this game. You don't use gold, because gold is basically meant to like help you like buy bananas, balloons, so you don't end up, when you fall down, you get float back up to the air. And you also buy more hearts. That's what mostly gold is, and it's also kind of like your life. I don't know if you can get game over in this game. But by the end of it, you and Void and Penelope and Donkey, when you get down to the bottom, you think it's the end of the game, and Void wants Penelope to sing, and you're not, so you can't use the animals during the scene. It did take me a while to figure out what to do with this game, this part. Like, I died at least 5 times before I figured it out what to do. And when you get to this part, you see a big fat belly. You think it's gold or the core, and nope, it's just King K. Rool's belly. He's got a belly, and he ends up punching Void really easily. Like I said, alright, that monkey gave me so much trouble, and King K. this game would have beat him right away. Now it's King K. Rool's time to have fun. He's just been, the reason we haven't found him because he's been buried down deep in the world, and that's why you haven't seen any of the Kremlings, the vultures. I thought we saw the bees, but nope, they're here too. All the ones from the country separate that beavers because they're one of the fossils. So yeah, so the beaver is dead. Does that mean all the other friends that Donkey Kong was friends with? All his other friends, because they are referenced as fossils too. Does that mean the old Donkey Kong is dead too because he's a fossil too? Then what the hell is Cranky? Let's ignore the fossils, they don't matter. So yeah, and yep, this is basically the same exact thing with King K. Rool as it is, because his boss fight is really fun, and it still has 2 different versions, because I remember back when you play him in the very first Donkey Kong game, you beat him once and then all of a sudden you see the end and then question mark, and all of a sudden he jumps around and he's like acting completely different, having different moves and for different ways to beat him. Like, I never even beat him that way because how hard it was, and I was a little kid. So yeah. But this time around, I figured it out pretty easily. And I do like the fact that it referenced pretty much every version of him. The first one, just him regularly. So it's the first game, basically. And then the second one, it's in the second version of him, when he's chasing you up to the planet core after Vanellope gets to wish to go back home, and Donkey Kong gets to have bananas. And so they're going back up to the surface. We find out that, yep, the surface is definitely just Big Dong City again. Where all the Kongs have been referenced, because they have all these billboards that you can barely see, since you can't really go back to that world because it's just the boss fight for King K. Rool, and he takes over it. And he even says, this is the human world. So yeah, like, yeah, this is the human world. Where is your world? Then if this is supposed to be where Vanellope comes from. So yeah, I mean, I know she was never in those country games, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. And there was not really humans in those games, it was just animals. So yeah, and I do like this boss fight here too. So, and I just barely beat that yesterday, so so far, what do I think about this game? I still think I like the other 3 better. Probably would say the second Donkey Kong game is the best. But if I had to do like a ranking of them, I probably would do, this would probably be my 3rd favorite. Because to me, it doesn't really have its own identity yet. I mean, I like the fact that it has a little bit difference between Odyssey, but to me it's kind of just Donkey Kong's version of Odyssey over again, but without that many worlds. So yeah, I mean, I understand why it would be pretty similar to Odyssey, because it's the same exact director of it, so it makes sense for it to have the same exact version. So yeah, so we'll see what I'm probably gonna give this one like a 7 out of 10. So yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Like, if we're describing how many you go to. Okay, it's still the same. 89.9%. So yeah, people are not subscribed. Only 10% of you guys are subscribed. So yeah, so it doesn't cost anything. So goodbye.